Loved monsters. Famous monsters. Legendary monsters.
Hello.
But did you know there is so many more monsters hidden away in the deepest, darkest, most hidden depths of the Monster Hunter world? Monsters with the power to rival the Black Dragons. Monsters that are very real, but monsters that you have likely never heard of. Whether it's because it's just that forgettable that you're gonna hear it and go, oh yeah, that's a thing, or it is an original creation for a offshoot, spin-off, collab, or some such shenaniganry that you quite literally have never seen, and upon seeing it you will go, I can't believe that exists, wow! And you'll say that because you won't be able to believe that it exists, and you will be wowed! So, before we begin with today's monster then, well, actually, you know what? I am going to give you a little bit of a teasy hint by giving you its title. It will be the Forbidden Dragon of Light. And if that doesn't sound impressive and powerful, well, you should think that it does sound impressive and powerful because he is really impressive and powerful. That's the whole point. Anyway, I would at this point like to say a little disclaimer that of course I imagine some of you will in fact have actually heard of this monster, given that, you know, there is thousands of people here with all different knowledges and breadths and interests on the Monster Hunter and the larger Monster Hunter property, so of course this isn't going to be a 100% surprise to anyone, but I am hoping that at least a good amount of you will go, wow, I've never seen that before, okay. So, there exists then a Monster Hunter manga by the name of Monster Hunter Orage? Orage? Orage! Me? Orange. Monster Hunter Orage. Anyway, this manga then is really quite cool, and it is a shonen manga, because of course it is. I mean, Monster is a great setting for a shonen, and it is by Mashima Hiro, and he is known for, well, fairy tale. Which, despite your opinion on it, is one of the most, guilty pleasure, so bad it's good anime/manga I've ever read/watched, okay? Look, I know it's not great objectively, but goddamn did I love experiencing it. Anyway, that should give you kind of idea of the tone, the style, the feel of Monster Hunter Orage. And indeed, within this Monster Hunter manga, there is 4 volumes. And within those volumes, there are some original monster creations. And that is, of course, something that we are very much going to have a look at. Today, then, we will be saying hi to a monster by the name of Myo Galuna. Hello. Yes, look at him! Is that not impressive? He is absolutely massive and apparently ripped, and he is a crystal dragon, which, you know, is quite easy to tell based on all the crystals growing out of him. He is, as I said, the Forbidden Dragon of Light. It is a dragon that is etched in legend. It appears in the night sky as bright as the stars, mentioned to be the Forbidden Dragon of Light, and it is associated with images of paradise, with feelings of heaven, but its temperament is closer to that of a demon, of evil incarnate. It is being tracked and hunted by a group of hunters called the Seal Hunters, and it is quite the climactic battle. Now, admittedly, Myo Galuna here does get a little bit what I like to call swinged. But that's okay, because while he's alive, he is incredibly threatening. He is a commander of the wind element on top of his crystalline fortifications and general overwhelming strength. The wind takes more of a form of pure light, glowing, shining, radiant. And that is really kind of a cool concept. Imagine forceful, intangible particles controlled and swirling like wind to push and pull and crush, but they're almost beautiful, bright, glowing, like fairy dust, condensed. That is really quite cool. He is, of course, an elder dragon, and just from his sheer overwhelming size, he is indefinitely one of the stronger ones. In fact, it's said that on first glance, on first look, the general aesthetic, the vision of him, the aesthetic of him, draws a lot of similarities to White Fatalis. He has a close little resemblance to him, but once you start to realize what you're actually looking at and see how it acts, it of course starts to branch out very differently. But just being compared to White Fatalis in any way is quite the cool little indication there. And indeed, this Myo Galuna is not, well, its starting form. No, meet Gilkuza! Incredibly creepy, crawly cave wyvern with Kezu vibes, incredibly thin skin, and a general undead-like aesthetic. It is extremely dangerous. I mean, just look at that maw. You certainly don't want to get bitten there. And, well, he has flesh that's so thin that you can just see its bones and blood and inner workings, and that made people think that it was a little bit, well, risen from undeath. It is the Skeletal Dragon, and indeed this is what our friend Myo Galuna erupts from, for when Gilkuza is defeated, it sprouts from its corpse and starts to go on quite the rampage. In fact, this whole little action supports the theory that Myo Galuna was the inspiration for Garuba Daora, a frontier version of Kushala with golden metal skin and crystals growing everywhere. The crystals growing everywhere you can see is an immediate comparison to Myo Galuna's crystals growing everywhere, and the whole erupting from the defeated body of Gilkuza is akin to how Kushala Daora sheds its skin and a new form emerges from underneath. So that's quite a cool little overlap. So yeah, generally speaking, there isn't a huge amount to go on here because it's from a very, very non-in-depth kind of spin-off-y manga that is a little bit fast and loose with the actual rules of Monster Hunter, but generally massive light wind crystal dragon of immense strength that would be quite the experience if it was ever to, by some miracle, make it to a more mainline Monster Hunter. Obviously, it's an official Monster Hunter property, but not a canon monster in of itself, but it is certainly one to be aware of and one to consider, and one that I think's pretty sweet. I would love more crystally monsters. I'm a kind of sucker for them. I think it's a very cool aesthetic, and I think you can do some really fun, interesting mechanics with them, and, they just look really pretty. So, yeah, something like this, a bit more refined, could be a lot of fun. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was indeed a new bit of information for you. And I, well, hope to see you next time for some more monsters you've probably never heard of. Ooh. Like you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Please consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.